This Found and Explained video is brought to you by Squarespace. The UH-60 Blackhawk is probably one of the most recognizable and most popular transport helicopters of all time. A pure workhorse, a sheer icon of the US military that has been the backbone of all branches of the armed forces for decades now. And the time has finally come to find a replacement. In one of the largest and most lucrative deals of the 21st century, Sikorsky Boeing and Bell Lockheed duos competed for the future of transport aviation, and today we're going to be talking all about the winner. Let's deep dive and answer the burning question: is this the true successor to the Blackhawk, the mantle of carrying the US war machine forward, and why, apparently, it absolutely demolishes its rival Miracle helicopter? This is the V-280 Valor. If the US military was a movie, the F-22 Raptor would be the hotshot movie star, the B-21 Raider would be the wisecracking sidekick, like from a Michael Bay movie, and the Blackbird would be the grizzly veteran that has won too many awards. But nobody ever pays that much attention to the extras in the background. The guys behind the scenes actually making one of the largest militaries in history work. We're talking about the jack of all trades and the master of logistics, the humble Blackhawk. Over 5,000 Blackhawks have been made since the 1970s in almost as many variants, from utility to medevac to naval rescue, special forces, etc., to provide transport for all branches of the military and any kind of personnel. But as we just said, the Blackhawk had its first flight exactly 50 years ago, and that makes it old. But it's not just old that's the issue at hand. I mean, we have the F-15 or the AH-64 in service, which are around 50-ish years old designs already, and they're fine. So what exactly is the problem with the Blackhawk? One of the biggest limitations for a long time when it comes to helicopters has been speed and range. And this for ages has bothered the Marines, who have been the de facto main global quick deployment force of the United States even back during the Cold War. So they want something new and cool, and that's how we got the infamous V-280 Osprey, a tilt-rotor aircraft capable of double the normal helicopter speed and a huge combat radius compared to its predecessors, and it was a total game changer. Except that it was not. The V-280 Osprey proved to have a superior performance to the Blackhawk because that's what it was all about at the time: performance. However, it has been plagued with issues, namely maintenance, and it has gained a notorious reputation being an unsafe aircraft. Of course, things have changed over the years, and the V-280 isn't as unreliable as the media wants you to believe, but the tilt-rotor concept has proved to be unsuitable at the time for mass use, and it was limited to a special single aircraft. But now, things have changed. The Future Vertical Lift program was started back in 2009 when an initiative by the Secretary of Defense placed all vertical lift development projects and ideas under one umbrella. Operations in the Middle East, such as Enduring Freedom, highlighted the issues with rotor-based aircraft. So the military decided to start a long-term program intended to find a replacement for all kinds of helicopters in the future, a one-fits-all solution. Whilst there were many initial designs thrown into the mix, the program led to the development of two final prototypes, one which we've already covered on the channel, the SB-1 Defiant. And the other one is our hero of the story today, the Bell V-280 Valor. You would have totally expected the US military to replace the Blackhawk with another single-rotor aircraft, but in a brave move, they've gone with one of a tilt-rotor design, for those additional benefits that I'll get into in a moment. But being brave and trying new things is quite an interesting move by the normally slow US military, and perhaps it's something that we can do in 2025, such as trying the new Squarespace Design Intelligence. That's right, the amazing Squarespace website creator has combined 2 decades of industry-leading design expertise with cutting-edge AI technology to give you your strongest creative potential. The way this works is that Squarespace will actually recommend a new design to reach your website goals, a beautiful and more personalized website that never looks like a template. But building a website with Squarespace is only the beginning, because you can also use it to run email campaigns, you can get more customers for your business, and now you can even launch courses. So if you've ever wanted to teach something, Squarespace is now your one-stop shop for your entire educational portal. I actually do use Squarespace for my own website, www.foundandexplain.shop, so I can totally vouch and say Squarespace is amazing. So head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, you can go and use my code FOUND at www.squarespace.com/found to save 10% off your first purchase of a website and domain. And thank you very much for all of those users that actually do click it and help support the channel. One of the key design issues with the V-22 Osprey was related to both the engine and rotor propeller design. The rotors were certainly large enough when the Osprey was in flight mode, where they played a standard propeller role, but during takeoff and landing, they were simply not big enough, and the engines were pushed to their limits every time the aircraft tried to get into the sky. The second issue was a little bit nasty. Because the engine nacelles would rotate during takeoff and landing, the jet stream would hit the ground, not allowing side doors to be used for disembarking, meaning everybody had to use the rear ramp. And since the Marines operated this aircraft, it was often used on aircraft carriers where said jet stream would damage the deck, so portable heat shields had to be used for the V-22. The third issue was that the V-22 couldn't take off or land on only one engine, and in case of any issues, it has to turn off and then restart the engines, hoping that that busted one would restart to work for a safe landing. Now you might be asking yourself, why am I blabbering on so much about the Osprey? Well, you see, the Valor fixed all of these issues, every single one of them, and that makes it extremely prospective as the future aircraft for the US military. Although the V-22 had its issues, its speed and range performance was impressive from day one, and it proved to be an irreplaceable asset during its operational service. Up until now. The Bell V-280 Valor's name comes from one of the key requirements of the Future Vertical Lift program, a speed of at least 280 knots or 519 kilometers. And compared to the Blackhawk's 152 knots or the Chinook's 170 knots, this is a huge difference. Hell, even the Apache's maximum speed is 158 knots, and yes, the Chinook is faster than the Apache, so have fun with all of that information. The V-280 solved all of the aforementioned issues with some key design changes. The nacelles with the engines were not rotating in flight, only the rotor's propellers rotated during takeoff or landing. The rotors themselves are only a bit shorter compared to the V-22, namely 10.7 versus 12 meters. However, the V-22 is almost double the weight of the V-280. So even though it produces slightly less lift, it's much lighter to fly. Impressed with these two designs, the military moved forward with a prototype phase, and in 2017, the V-280 had its first flight. Reaching up to the sky, powered by two General Electric T-64 engines, this aircraft had an output of around 8,600 horsepower, which is the same as the CH-53 Super Stallion and Sea Stallion respectively. And look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The fuselage design is also very much alike to the Blackhawk, with a similar layout and two side sliding doors for troops to enter and exit the aircraft. It's operated by two pilots and has two crew chiefs on side mounted weapons. It can carry 14 troops compared to 11 on a Blackhawk and has a maximum combat range of 1,480 kilometers compared to the 590 on a Blackhawk, which is quite impressive. We're talking 3 times the range. The V-280 also features an easily recognizable V-tail with a combination of rudders and elevators called ruddervators for better maneuverability in flight, and of course large control surfaces on the main wing. So what do you do with all this power and maneuverability? Well, below the fuselage there are 2 cargo hooks allowing the Valor to carry a M777 howitzer whilst flying over 150 knots. This impressive performance got the final tick from the US military and it was authorized to enter serial production. They decided to go with the very same engine that was used on the Osprey, the Rolls-Royce AE1107. A derivative variant would have the designation AE1107F and would give the Valor over 14,000 horsepower. That's 1,000 horsepower per soldier carried. And it's also an engine that Bell is already very familiar with, and it's ready to be mass produced. This means easier maintenance and a cheaper production. Now this all sounds really fantastic, but is this design really that much more superior to the SB-1 Defiant? When the military was looking for a replacement for the Blackhawk, the SB-1 seems to fit the bill perfectly. It has a similar layout and design with a top rotor, with only the additional rear pusher propeller to give it that massive speed boost. It's a design which Sikorsky has played with for years prior to this program, and it's been proven to be quite a good configuration for both an attack and utility helicopter. Because remember, the Future Vertical Lift program was not only about transport helicopters, something that the Valor excels at, but also a whole new generation of aircraft. The issue with the SB-1 actually came down to the engines. The first flight occurred only in 2019, and from day one the SB-1 was underpowered. Using engines from the Chinook, it only managed to achieve a maximum speed of 250 knots, meeting the Army minimum requirements, but not even the minimal Navy or Marine requirements. Meanwhile, in January of 2019, our hero, the V-280, easily passed the 280 knot mark during testing, and in December of 2020, it even achieved a speed of 305 knots or 560 kilometers per hour. Sikorsky scrambled to introduce new engines for the SB-1 that promised a 60% increase in both speed and range, but the military was faced with a simple choice: an already proven and tested design passing all the requirements set, or something that only could potentially reach their goals if all of the stars aligned. The choice was actually quite easy to make, and in 2022, the V-280 was actually chosen as the future helicopter of the US military. And I cannot stress how big of a decision this was. Imagine sitting at your desk at work and an order comes in for a new utility helicopter of around, let's just say, 2,000 to 4,000 aircraft, which is absolutely bonkers and would secure Bell for decades to come. We're talking World War II order numbers. Let me remind you, over 5,000 Blackhawks were produced throughout the years. So this is probably the biggest cash cow that we've ever seen in the world of aviation since the 1940s. On the other hand, the V-280 isn't exactly a silver bullet, and there are still challenges presenting themselves in everyday use. Compared to the Blackhawk, the V-280 is rather massive. Even though the fuselage length is somewhat similar, the overall width of the V-280 is 10 meters more than that of the Blackhawk. And this becomes a big issue when you have to land this aircraft in, say, urban areas or somewhere in a forest. This means it's much less flexible to be used for special forces, and on a crowded aircraft carrier deck you need to make more room for it. On the other hand, the speed is perfect for medevac and rescue missions. There is a term in the first responder world called the golden hour. This is the first hour after an injury has occurred, and if the individual can be transported to a professional medical care team, say within this hour, the chances of survival are way higher than past this time frame. The V-280 speed allows for these quick evacuations, but the LZ limitations might affect that. But in general, the V-280 is the perfect helicopter for the Navy and the Marines, namely island hopping, carrier operations, and quick deployment and rescue. But the question remains, is the era of the Blackhawk really over, or is there still a special need for a special aircraft that can operate where no one else can? Can the Blackhawk become the B-52 of the US rotor forces? Well, I guess only time will tell. Now, if you love this video, it turns out that the Russians actually built their own tilt rotor version of this aircraft, and we have a video all about it on the channel that you can watch right now. And this version was an attack version.